announcements. I didn't think about some announcements that I missed, perhaps.
Could probably make a self-announcement, can't you?
Okay, Jeremy, you've got your hand raised.
I think you could perhaps tell them where the next Southeast Linux Fest is going to be and what day.
At least say that.
How about you tell us, Jeremy?
Well, where's the fun in that? You're up near the recording devices.
All right, so the Southeast Linux Fest is June 10, 11, 12
Right.
at Spartanburg Marriott, where it was this year. We have decided upon a place. Have we opened a call for papers yet?
We still have to do work for our website before we open.
Yeah, we're gonna revamp the website. We are
We have the vendor prospectus out there.
vendor prospectus is out, but it is
Supporter.
out there.
Yeah, I was on the wiki last night and today at lunch changing a bunch of stuff, and the color form is out there. So if you want to support or you know somebody who does, let us know.
We'll be glad to take anyone's money.
Actively
We cash checks quickly.
right, actively seeking support.
Yep, and also we found out this weekend that we're very close to having the talks from this past year to be uploaded to the website. So if you want to experience what it's like, at least in the talks, you'll be able to do that on the web. 2009s are on the web right now, but 2010s will be up there soon, very soon. Ish.
Probably a couple of weeks or so.
I think.
Have we decided on that?
But those are all. Where's Klaatu live? He's in Philadelphia.
Yeah,
But all those files are in Philadelphia right now.
Thereabouts,
They're being
somewhere
mastered and.
Are you saying that the files for the Southeast Linux Fest are now being mastered in the Northeast?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think I said that, but
We're open source. Anybody that's willing to help.
by a person named Klaatu, which, if you know your movie history, was the day the Earth stood still as a robot.
We considered it only fair since half of them have moved down here anyway.
Yeah, yeah. We have a lot of people that come down here from Northeast to the Southeast Linux Fest. We've got a couple new board members, incidentally. Me being one of them.
Not to toot my own horn, but honk.
Not to toot my own horn. But I'm the volunteer coordinator, so if you would like to help out in any capacity for this coming, you would? All right, fantastic.
And not just at the fest.
Yes.
Before the fest too.
Before, after,
Yeah, I wanted
during.
to do that more last year, but I had.
Give
I
me
think
give
there's
me an
probably
email.
going to be a lot more opportunities.
We've got the email volunteer at southeastlinuxfest.org, right? And that way it'll get to me. And if you're going to be able to come for 2 hours on Saturday, that'd be fine. Just anything to help out would be fantastic, and I would appreciate knowing it. This past weekend was Ohio Linux Fest, which several of Southeast Linux Fest board members went on. We got some schmoozing done, networking, and I got some training I was a volunteer for that so that I could see how another fest does volunteering. So whenever I do the volunteering, I could.
We get it.
You understand what I'm saying, right? So, all right. So I guess I'm not very eloquent.
I'm going to polish that up a little.
Now it's finding you more cross-training.
You can edit this out, right? So anyway, any other announcements?
You forgot to mention the other board member.
Have fun.
Forgot to mention the other board member.
Oh, Mike Major, yes,
Like-
our secretary, and he's a wonderful addition. By the way. He's really getting us organized. I got to tell you that.
Good.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
So, any other announcements that I may have forgotten or anyone would like to say?
I've got a
Yes.
question. A friend of mine is writing a grant for a clinic, a free clinic, and she's looking for somebody to set up the software and all to run that. Does anybody know of anything that's open source for operating the clinic?
You could probably
Medical
check
clinic.
with Ohio Linux Fest because they had an entire medical
yeah.
track.
Oh,
And they mentioned the lady that organized it at the last day. Well, Carol something. Jeremy, do you remember?
Not off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I do know there is some software out there to run hospitals. It sounds like what you're doing is small in scale, which
Right.
is greatly beneficial here.
Ohio Linux Fest had a whole track, and they recorded all of their talks. And I don't know about the medical tracks, but I know the
I'm pretty sure there's some sort of suite for medical, just like there is open molar for dentistry.
Yeah.
There is a
Molar?
Wikipedia article.
Open molar, that sounds horrible.
That's the name of it.
Can you fix my open molar?
There's a Wikipedia article with the name List of Open Source Healthcare Software, and it looks
Really?
rather large. So
Nice.
I went through that page.
Alrighty, well, so now we have Rick Smith, who is a developer extraordinaire, and he is going to be presenting,
Only I don't know how to get this video thing.
and I've forgotten.
Come on, it's an
what's
Apple,
the name
doesn't it
of
just
the,
work?
it's an IDE, right?
Well, it's a development environment called Rhomobile, and kind of get started with it. It's something that came out probably about 2 years ago, and they started out, it was kind of a proprietary thing where you had to pay, it's a commercial thing, you had to pay a license in order to use it, and then I took a quick look at it and thought it was pretty decent until I saw the part where you'd have to pay. So I kind of ignored it for a while, and then recently I saw that they had open sourced the whole thing.
Are you going to stand up here? Or are you going to sit there the whole?
I can do either. I can probably sit here. Probably better.
Well, I'm going to
So I
sit
can
down.
do the-
That's all right.
Hmm?
I'm going to sit down. That's all
Sure.
right.
No, that's
Get this
unacceptable.
to-
You have to stand there the whole time.
Oh, is it display? Does it do, should I just do tech displays?
There it
we
is.
go. Okay. Whoa. Woo.
It's all clear to me.
Okay, now, this is the IDE for it. No.
It looks remarkably like an apple.
So,
Now, which version of Ubuntu is this?
it's like, well, this is,
No, you switched it off. I was going to say that when you had the Apple one.
yeah. Well, this is what I have, so this is what I use. But anyway, I run virtual Linux on my.
John, you want to put the lights over
But
there?
anyway, with the, it's a little bit hard to see, but this is kind of this gives you an idea of what the Android environment looks like, just the native kind of thing. So at the top you've got your applications, then there's a framework that handles the, well, you've got the window manager, content, view system, package manager, and then you have the libraries. Now, one thing to keep in mind, this WebKit, that's the key to Rhomobile being able to have applications for iPhone, BlackBerry, Android, Symbian, I think they said, and Palm. So now, was it Palm? iPhone, something else. Anyway, 4 or 5 of them. Oh, the Windows thing. That's right.
Whatever that
Whatever
thing
that thing is. But the common thing is the WebKit. So what they do is they have you.
Can you, I was gonna say, can you put it under view, can you put it to the full
Actually, this-
screen?
Hmm?
It's any better. It's not any better.
No. Well,
Hit F11. Go to full screen.
would backing that up help any? Make it bigger?
Bring the table back too.
So when you switch over to the Roads framework, now you think, okay, Android is pretty much Java, and it's got the Darvik, JVM. So how do they get away with having Ruby on Rails, Ruby-based HTML and CSS? Well, between using the WebKit and having, it's kind of like an embedded browser type of application, and they're able to give you pretty much of a native look and feel for your applications. But they have, everything is kind of merged into the executable, the application itself. So they've got the Ruby interpreter, object relational manager that talks back to the RowSync server. If you want to synchronize data, you have that option too. And then you have, I can't even read it myself, SQLite, web server part that uses WebKit and other controller and other bits and pieces like that. And then they have a command line development environment where you create your applications. Now let's go to, okay, so that kind of gives you a general idea of what's going on. So with Rhomobile, you pretty much have the Ruby language in the background. And to give you a little bit of an idea about Ruby, Ruby's a dynamic, reflective, general-purpose, object-oriented programming language. And this is from Wikipedia, in fact. Similar to Perl, some small talk. It's a great scripting language, can be used to replace shell scripting, batch files. And one important thing is it uses something called Ruby gems for its packaging system, similar to RPMs or a number of the other type of packaging that we're used to with Linux. Ruby gems, package manager for Ruby programming language, very similar to apt-get in how you manage them, how you install, uninstall, manipulate different versions, things like that. And they're generally built in Ruby, and you use the rake utility to work with them. And rake, a software task management tool similar to Make, and Ant too. I guess it's kind of along the same lines in some regards. But anyway, with Ruby, you generally use rake to manipulate, manage your application. Let's go through some application fundamentals. Every application runs in its own Linux process. And Android starts the process when any of the application's code needs to be executed, shuts it down when it's no longer needed. So it's good management of resources. Each process has its own virtual machine. So application code runs in isolation from the code of other applications, which again gives you a very good stable environment to run your apps. And each application gets its own unique Linux user ID. You can set it up so that you can share user IDs between apps so that you can kind of have one app play off the other one. And a little bit more. Framework enables reuse and replacement of components. The Dalvik virtual machine. Now that's where Google got in trouble with Oracle, and we'll touch on that at the tail end. And then the open source WebKit engine, which makes it possible for Rhomobile to create the applications. And these are some of the other goodies within Android